Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Noodle Time, episode 130. OSG, what's going on, my guy? How you doing?
What's up, bro, man? I'm ready. I'm super excited. It's Dash opening weekend this weekend, but Dynamo got a point in Columbus, so I was like, not as depressed as we were last week.
Yeah, I guess we have a little bit to look forward to. The fact that obviously we have collected a point, and out of all places in Columbus, which is obviously a tough place to go play, a difficult team to play against, one of the top echelon of teams in MLS currently, even though they have lost a few of their most notable players through transfer and things of that nature. As have we, obviously. So I mean, just two teams that right now, unfortunately, because of the timing of acquisitions or departures and stuff like that, are kind of struggling a little bit. Columbus, not so much in MLS. I mean, I think they have 7 points out of 3 games. Unfortunately for their CONCACAF Champions Cup journey, it is done for them. They lost against LAFC, which I think it's for a club of their stature, it's important to do very well in those international competitions, and just to basically plaster your brand and your club and your city all over the map, and that's how you attract the players that they have attracted in the past, like Chicho Hernandez, Lucas Celarian, and players of that nature. But with that being said, hey, look, I can't complain. I predicted they were going to lose, and they were going to lose bad. They still look a little shaky. But regardless of with everything being against them, we still managed a point. I still don't see any connection between the midfield and the top three up front. No, Daryl started, so it was a good sign to see him start over Aliyu.
Over Aliyu, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Aliyu Army, but your boy, he might be relegated to the bench from here on out. And well, I mean, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Your thoughts on the game, as far as I mean, are there any positives besides the fact that we took a point?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud of Ben for making tactical adjustments. He wasn't stubborn in saying, "Hey, we're going to do 70% possession." 70% possession. He knew what Columbus did. He actually changed his tactics to play against his opponent instead of forcing his tactics on his opponent, which sometimes you can do. But this time, the way we're performing, the lack of offense, you had to play against Columbus instead of Columbus playing against the Dynamo. So he changed his tactics and was defensive more, didn't try to be so possessive, and it worked out in our favor. Didn't give up a goal, didn't give up anything really dangerous, so defense was defense, which is Ben's style. The same problem happened as always. No offense.
So
Can't score.
Hey, so our first opportunity at road points, and we managed to get them points. So I guess we do deserve one of these. A little ray of sunshine. So I mean, with that being said, I mean, who do you think was the MVP for the game for the Dynamo? I mean, I think I have a couple of names up in mind for myself, but I mean, who do you think was the one who was above and beyond the person who really helped with to garner this point?
I mean, Archer did what we expect Archer to do, and he just performed like he did. But Barlow, who has been taking the most, played a great game. He played a great game, and Barlow, I think he just kind of stood up and he's like the comeback player of the year or whatever. And even though it's only been one game, so Barlow played a great game and represented well. Arthur, I mean, there was nothing exciting on the offense. Lodero played well, but didn't really create nothing. Ponce's still quiet. nothing. I mean, Bossy's playing okay, like nothing. So I give it to Barlow. Harbaugh made a couple saves. I was excited about that, where I got to see him in action. But I guess you have to give it to Barlow, man.
Yeah, I think I'm more in between Arthur and Tarbell. Tarbell played a really good game.
Yeah.
Obviously he getting the clean sheet and all that good stuff, and making some great saves along the way there, and because obviously the home version has been pitiful to say the least. But let me ask you a question, man. Obviously one of our biggest acquisitions was Jack McGlynn. What do you think about the young lad these first three games, man? From in my opinion, I haven't really seen too much. I think a lot of praise. There was a lot of praise and high praise about him being able to deliver a great corner kick or a free kick, or set up a great situation for the Dynamo to be able to take advantage of set pieces. And I've yet to see it, in my opinion. Your thoughts on McGlynn up to this point?
Game 1, excellent review. Game 2, disappeared. Game 3, super quiet. Those corner kicks, they're annoying when you overkick your entire team, the entire defense, and the ball bounces almost outside the other side of the box and goes out for a freaking throw in. That's just the most annoying thing in the world. Come on, bro. You've been doing this. I mean, I know you're only 20, but you know how to take a corner kick. Take a little bit off of it. Drive it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, but McGlynn, 20, right? There's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of expectation there. That's the biggest thing, and that's what people will hold against him right now, and which is expected. You're a professional, and we brought you in to replace Ache Ache, so you have shoes to fill. And
Huge shoes
at
to fill.
first I was like, yeah, big shoes, big shoes. And at first I was like, he had a great game on game 1. He had a great preseason. Like, okay, yeah, we can forget about this other guy over here. But 2 and 3 disappeared. So this will be a big game at home, especially since we haven't won at home. But he's a big integral part of this team for us to succeed. So need him to succeed. So this will be a big game for him, personally.
Yeah, I mean, up to this point, he is literally our biggest signing from this offseason. So I mean, when you unfortunately are labeled that, there's expectations that come with it, regardless of the age and the experience, right? I think I was the one who said, that a lot of people might be putting too much pressure on him, even though he is one of the top talents in American soccer as far as youth goes. And the ceiling is high with him, but obviously you have to give him time to adjust to his new surroundings and new teammates, right? And obviously we got, I think, a little bit ahead of ourselves with the great preseason that he had. In game 1, obviously I think you run on a lot of adrenaline being the first game, and going against your derby rivals and Frisco, and obviously him just being, I guess, just wanting to go out there and perform. And yeah, like I said, the last two games, in my opinion, invisible. Nowhere to be found. Um, Realistically, no, I haven't seen any plays run through him. I haven't seen him take opportunities or take one-on-one advantages against the defense. I haven't seen any of that from him, and I think that's one of the things that we kind of expected, because obviously his youth
Mhm.
and his technique and his style, that he would be able to go and 1v1 against defenders and help create, and position himself to where he is able to create a shot for him, or open up the field to provide opportunities for one of his teammates up front, most notably Ponce. But man, your thoughts on the just lack of passes for Ponce too. I mean, I feel like the guy he's out there running. If anything, I mean, I tell you, Ponce, he comes back, he plays defense, he goes and grabs the ball. I can see why Ben is excited to have him, over Sebastian Ferreira that we had last couple of years. Um, he's out there hustling and bustling, man, and just I feel sad for the guy because he wants to score, and he just has no he just has no connection with anybody right now at this moment.
Oh, no. I mean, Dorsey's trying to get those crosses in, but they're always late. They're always late, so they're defended easily. The bin possession, the game is just too slow for a target striker. Like you can't. I mean, you're putting Ponce in the box with 4 defenders around him, or 3 defenders, whatever it is. It's almost impossible for him, and you have no creativity from the other midfielders to where you're playing the tiki taka that we were used to that did us so well 2 years ago, and you're not getting to move the movement that you were expecting from the bin system around that box to where you could get those opportunities to turn. Where Sebastian Pineda had 13 goals on a sorry ass team in that first year
Mhm.
that he showed up.
Yeah,
It's
go ahead.
what do you well, I mean, what do you do? Archer's not going to be creative. He's your CDM who's going to get us forward. McGlynn, you expect more from. He's touted as a creative player and an attacking player. Lodero, you're not going to get a lot of gas from him, so you get what you're expected. But when he starts, yeah, give me 65 minutes and I'm good with it. I expect something from you. I know you can still do it. You say you can still do it. Leo,
Well,
man, dude's stupid, doesn't know what offsides is. Like, I want to take him to referee fucking class. It's ridiculous how this dude just cannot see the friggin' line, and you're watching it on TV. And it's like, dude, he's not even paying attention. And then the flag goes up. Quit passing him the friggin' ball is what I say. I'd play 10 minutes. Oh man, it's so annoying. I'll leave you Army.
well, I'm glad that you asked. What do you do? What can you do to help Ponce? Because obviously he wants to score goals, but what can you do? What do you do? So guess what? What do? We go out to across the pond and we bring in a player from the English Championship, uh, an American player named
Yep.
Duane Holmes, who plays for Preston North End. Um, Thoughts, OSG? He plays an attacking role, more on the right side, but he does play an attacking 10 role as well. Unfortunately, he won't be helping Ponce out as soon as we thought he would, um, because he comes with a leg injury that's been hampering him for over a couple of weeks now. I think for 4 or 5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. He should be back between 4 to 6 weeks from now, but he is acquired. He is our new signing, Duane Holmes from Preston North End, and he's had a very good championship career. Obviously, for those who don't follow English Championship League, it's the second tier behind the Premier League, but still one of the toughest leagues around the world, and one of the best leagues around the world. A lot of competition in there, a lot of competition, and he's been able to carve out a really great career for himself over there. And you know, just your thoughts on Dwayne Holmes, and with with this injury of his, was there? I mean, with all the respect to Holmes, I'm sure once he gets up and going, it's going to be great, and and hopefully he contributes as soon as possible. But man, 4 to 6 weeks from now, that's what 6, 7 games. A lot can happen in 6, 7 games. I mean, what's the front office doing? Like what? There was nobody else. There was nobody healthier. Somebody that can help us immediately, right away, to go. Right to go. I mean, I understand he's an American. He doesn't take up an international spot and all that good stuff. And obviously, they got to. It's always the MLS regulations and rules, and you got to follow. Make sure that you have the certain spots available for the players that are incoming and whatnot, right? But I mean, it sucks to have an announcement that you bring in a new player, but you're not going to see him for another month or two, because realistically, they say he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks, but then we obviously have to get him up to game shape. We obviously have to give him opportunity to work back on his fitness. So that's another 2-3 weeks after that. So realistically speaking, we might not see Mr. Holmes until mid-June, maybe early July, if best. Your thoughts,
which is
OSG?
which is a summer signing. He is not a DP, so no concerns there. He just takes up a roster spot. He is a guy who was losing his starting position at Preston before this horrible broken leg, which happened on February 11th. 8 weeks is his time frame to miss out. So, what is February, March, April
We're
11th?
halfway there. We're halfway there.
Yeah. So April, mid-April, and then, like you said, you get him back into conditioning, which is earlier than if you would have had him for a summer signing because they terminated his contract early, which allowed us to bring him in now and not have to wait for the summer. And it's still a free transfer,
And
so it doesn't cost us nothing. He's not a DP. He can play that cam. He can play that RAM, the Coco position. He can play right wing back, the Dorsey position. So he's very versatile on that right side over there. So yeah, maybe Coco. I don't know what we're going to use him for right now. Ben
well,
still
we're
has
not
to
going to use them
answer.
right now.
Well, obviously, when the time comes, how we're going to use him or we're going to use him, there's still, like you said, maybe 8 games before he actually is available, and there's a lot to see what's going to happen before then, and see who sucks right now and who needs to be benched and where can we fit him in. So I'm okay with this guy. I'm okay with this signing. Like you said, 8 years with Preston, Derby County. Before that, he's been in England since he's 2 years old. He's an American, which hence doesn't cost the international spot, but he did not want to leave Preston to begin with, or he didn't want to leave England to begin with. He wanted to stay, but this is an opportunity for him where he was about to be out in Preston. He's got a 2-year deal here with options, and I bet he just wants to go back to England. And what he can do here, I mean, he's 30, so what he can do
Hey,
here.
well, I mean, it's a lot of people, dare to compare him to maybe a Giles Barnes 2.0. Obviously,
I'm good with that.
hey, I'm good with it too. If that happens, Giles Barnes was a player who came over from London, from England and gave us a good career over here, and he did really good, scoring a lot of goals for us during a time period where obviously it wasn't the best of times, but you know he did a job for us, and if he can get to anywhere close to what Giles Barnes gave us during his Dynamo career, then I think he's like he's that's a great acquisition, right? But
Yeah,
like I said, I'm just bothered because like there's so much that we need done right now, and these games, like, look, I know the season just started. I know it's a long season, right? We're barely midway through March, and obviously the season goes all the way to October. But these games, man, they come up to they come fast, they come quick, and in a hurry, And then obviously when U.S. Open Cup opens up, and then League Cup opens up and stuff like that. Like I want the team to be able to really for sure be able to compete in those tournaments. Like for me, cup tournaments are very important, especially for a club like the Dynamo that that obviously it's MLS Cup is a very tough situation for a club like Dynamo to compete in. The fact that we were in the Western Conference Finals not too long ago was a great accomplishment by the squad, right? Um, Realistically, only having one DP, a true DP, and Hector Herrera, who that season was an MVP candidate, right? But it's tough, especially the way the LA teams are loading up, the way Inter Miami is loaded, the way other teams are starting to load up. Columbus, obviously we have, like we stated earlier, you can't forget about the Seattles, those type of clubs that have a lot of ambition and deep pockets, and as much as I look forward to accomplishing and reaching that third MLS Cup and getting that third star, you know, these cup tournaments I think are a lot more achievable. And not only that, they give you access towards different things. Like, obviously you win the US Open Cup like we have, it gives you access to the Champions Cup. And obviously, if you win Leagues Cup, the same thing. It gives you that access as well. And, I think to future Club World Cups, depending on, the different formats or whatever, or what you win it, and things of that nature. So, a lot of opportunity, a lot of brand exposure that can happen for the Dynamo. And obviously, I think, the thing that the club lacks is exposure globally to where they can attract the maybe not the biggest of names from European, but talent wise, talented players. Acha obviously we knew him because of his Mexican background, but set aside the fact that he's a Mexican player, he's a talented player overall. You can tell when he was on the pitch how he controlled the tempo of the game. When things were going too fast, he slowed it down. When he needed to pick up the pace, he picked up the pace and moved the ball forward. Like the game seemed real slow to him. And thus made it easier for him to control the narrative and know which pass to make, know which way to go, know to go forward, know to go backwards, and things of that nature. And I think we need more players of that type of stature, and unfortunately, like I said, right now at this moment, while I do believe Ponce can be a DP striker and score 20 goals for us, unfortunately he can't do it because he does not have any connection and doesn't have anybody to feed him the ball. And unfortunately for our midfield, our second best player is Arthur, and like you said, he's our defensive midfield. Very rarely is he going to come up, push up, and help spear the offensive side of things. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I hope Holmes gets healthy quickly, and I hope
We've
he
been
gets up.
building a depth on the bench. We haven't been inquiring starters. We've been building
Yeah,
depth. And
but I mean,
that's where people are mad at right now.
yeah, I mean, but we need starters. We need people who can control the game and take over if they need to. Obviously that's what that DP player is for, right? To those type of players that can take over and create something for the team or uplift the team. Because obviously right now we're not looking too good. Like I said, I'm happy with the tie in Columbus. I'm happy with the clean sheet and all that good stuff. But it didn't look good to me at all, to be honest. So I mean, like I said, I'm looking at a half glass half full, well, maybe glass half empty here, because even though we got the point, it looks sloppy as hell. And obviously, like I said, Columbus was coming in, obviously not fully loaded either, but we caught
No
them early.
defensive mistakes was a
Yeah,
big key. No
for
defensive
sure.
mistakes.
For sure,
Okay,
nobody gave up the ball in the box to give him an easy goal. Obviously, Femi's looking more comfortable as a starter. Obviously,
Bartlow looked great. Came
Barlow
back strong.
had his best game, in the young season and things of that nature. And obviously, we spoke about Arthur and Arthur being just a consistent professional that he is. But let's look forward, man. Let's see. We're coming back home.
Woo.
Maybe we don't want to come back home. I don't know. The first two games
No, we
were
want to come back home, but what's big now is this team has an edge against us. We have beat
yeah.
them and beat them and beat them and then beat them and then beat them.
So we are playing RSL Real Salt Lake this Saturday at I was about to call it BBVA. Oh my god!
We don't know what the new name is going to be. Call it
Yeah,
Daikin.
but until then, Shell Energy Stadium this Saturday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. Hey, actually, that game will be under the sun, man. This daylight savings. The sun doesn't go down
half.
till yeah. So at least the first half you get it you get to see it under the sun. But yeah, man, RSL the last couple of years, RSL has made the playoffs and have been a very contentious team with players like Diego Luna and stuff like that. Your thoughts on RSL? I mean, they're kind of like a little bit of a little brother to us the last couple of years. We've beaten them. We eliminated them from the playoffs 2 years ago. I think we eliminated them from U.S. Open Cup play last year, if I'm not mistaken, or one of these years. So if I can't remember.
Whatever the possibility of eliminating them, we eliminated them.
Yeah. So your thoughts on RSL?
So they haven't been they have not been impressive this season at all. I think they do have a win, but they have not been impressive.
2 points ahead of us right now.
Yeah, so that's the 3-1, which we're disappointing as well. But we are at home. You expect us to play better. You expect us to play better at home. You have played well against this opponent, even though they do bring a game. Diego Luna's no joke. He will still be a threat. I think our defense will still be strong as long as we don't make those stupid mistakes, which those are just stupid. So relax. Can we find the goals? We always seem to a way to find them against RSL. So because RSL does like to push back against us and not sit back and allow us to play our game. So sometimes I think that's what RSL beats themselves as well by their tactics. But I'm confident for a win this weekend, and it'll be one of those 1-0, 2-1 games.
But a win is a win is a win, right?
Absolutely. But you judge everything, and that's what our job is to do. And a win is a win is a win. But there's always a but.
Unfortunately. But yeah, like like you've mentioned, I mean, we've had great success against RSL in recent history. Even though, like I said, they've been a up and coming club as well, a positive trajectory, just like we've had the last couple of years. They're just like a little bit behind us, in that area. But I mean, they're one of the clubs that, fortunately for us, we've had a lot more success than failure against. And hopefully we can continue that trend. Like you said, I mean, obviously we're playing at home. We are coming off a complicated game against Columbus, but we did get a road point to get our first points of the season. And hopefully we can get the momentum going and maybe get that first win off our backs, and then get those 3 points and kind of get us back up in the middle of the Western Conference race. Because the thing that worries me, OSG, and I think worries a lot of the fans and the fan base, is just a lot of people say, like I mentioned earlier, the season is long. We're barely in March. We have all the way to October, but like I mentioned, the games come up to you quick. But if you keep letting these points go and go and go, it makes it more difficult for you to try to catch up, especially against teams that get a hot start and just keep banging it out, and collecting these points. And obviously, am I saying that we're a supporter shield type of club this year? No, I don't think so at all. But I mean, I don't want to be so far away to the point where where the only possibility we have is just to fight for the 8-9 spot, that
Right.
play-in spot. And I want to be able to have a little bit more options, and maybe obviously maybe have an opening home match, as a home team in the playoffs, maybe possibility. But like I said, until I see something that really shows me that, hey, that they're progressing forward, I just don't know how we can continue to, or we can look forward to acquiring a win. Like I said, the goals that we scored have been kind of mishap goals on the teams, I mean, and just, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen the chemistry yet there, and that worries me. That worries me a lot because obviously there are 3 games up, 3 games down, only 1 point, only 2 goals to show in those 3 games, and I just haven't seen anything that's really to my liking to show me that hey, these guys, even though they've only got 1 point, they're up there pushing, they're up there playing with high intensity. They're playing with chemistry, and they know where everybody's at. It's just the ball's not going to the back of the net. That would be one thing, but like I said, I'm not even seeing the connectivity between them. So that's what worries me about this game, OSG. And like I said, Diego Luna, he's a menace. He's a menace, and that kid can score a special one on you without out of nowhere. And that's the thing, when you have a player who's capable of taking the game over and making something special happen. That's one of the advantages you have when you
Yeah.
have a player of that capabilities. And like I said, him being a more free roaming player and being able to grab the ball from the midfield and push up and be able to create for himself. He's not one of those like unfortunately for us, like Ponce, where Ponce, he needs somebody to, get him the ball so he can start doing his thing. But we'll see what happens, man. Your prediction, I guess you said a win. You said a 1-0, 2-1 win. What are you going with?
Yeah, I think it's 1-0 or 2-1. I think it's 2-1 just because, like you said, Diego Luna can be just so creative and just pull one out of his butt and just put one in somewhere, or he gets a friggin' penalty kick and he's the kick taker. I do see that we can score 2 goals. This game just means so much that the guys know what the fans think of them and where the lack of offense is coming from. Ben, he plays his little game with the fans and says we're doing a great job and blah blah blah. Whatever. Good for you, bro. If you want to think that, I know you don't think that. That's just what you're telling the people. You're being PR, or PC. But man,
No,
it's yeah. Go ahead.
no,
Look what.
look. Whether he actually believes it or not, I mean, it's cool to always mention the fans, appreciate the fans. But but as a fan base will and a fan base won't, is if you don't show them that you're trying or you're out there trying to win, they're gonna start not showing up. It is what it is. And like I said, right now we're 2 games up at home, 2 games down, no points, no wins, and we looked horrible. If we come out here and we stink up the joint again, I mean,
Well,
it's a tough. It's gonna be something tough.
let me ask you then, because it is unlikely Escobar and Villacinco will be available for this game. Does that make a difference on your perspective of the game?
I mean, look, obviously Bartlow, Femi, and Stearns have played more minutes than we
Okay.
thought they would, right?
Yeah.
And and, and they, I mean, obviously, and with Stairs being the veteran that he is, I expect him to do a job for us, regardless if he's playing 15 minutes or if he's playing the whole 90. Femi obviously kind of thrusted into the situation because of Shevchenko being out. But he's looked capable, except for the one blunder he had against
Yeah.
Miami,
Right.
and obviously Bartlow the blunder against Frisco to give up the game. So I mean, I look. Am I expecting another clean sheet? Maybe not, But am I expecting them to be much more cohesive and much more of a united unit? Yes, like you're getting the opportunity to play amongst each other. Obviously, Escobar, Shevchenko, Mikhail being sold. That was what we're looking forward to, and obviously that was like one of our bread and butters, having the strong
Right.
backcourt that we had, like, along with Dorsey, but we don't have that, right? So it's time for these next guys to man up, next player up, grab the bull by the horns and take advantage of this opportunity of yours, and make sure that you make it difficult for when Shevchenko comes back, when Escobar comes back, or when Andrande is ready to go from after playing for D2, and keeping him at D2 instead of bringing him up to the first team, regardless of whatever the situation is. Like, hey, this is your opportunity. Take it, man. Show that you're worthy of these first team minutes and that you are worthy to be first player jotted down on
Right.
match day, because it's these opportunities don't happen that often. Look at Bartlow. Barlow was a highly chosen pick. I think he was sixth overall number pick.
I think second round, or was he first round? Not sure.
No, he was first round. He was a top 10 pick. I remember. He was a top 10 pick, and and look, everybody thought that he was going to be one of those. This is during the Kiki Struna, the era, whatever, of the Dynamo and stuff like that, and he was going to learn under a European center back, and this is and that, blah blah, and it hasn't happened for him, and. I mean, he's still with us, and obviously, I think he enjoys his time here in Houston with us, Otherwise, he might have moved on already. But like, it gets to a certain point where I don't think he wants to be a bench player anymore. I don't think he wants to be that third center back. I think he wants to be a starting center back. So you're getting the opportunity, dude. Shevchenko, when he comes back, great. He comes back, but we got to think about it. Shevchenko's 33 years old, 33, 34 years old. He's getting along in the tooth as well. And at some point, is somebody gonna take his spot? Like, sometimes
we
it
got
just
Eric
comes.
Chula's contracts up. We're shopping a center back supposedly. Bartlow's Bartlow. Do we rely on him? Ben is very particular, and so you don't know what's really going on. But we're shopping. You have Eric for another year. He may leave
Yeah,
after this year. So
I mean,
yeah, stability. You could, and if you work the market right, you can bring somebody in. It's like in college with the transfer portal now. Put yourself out there, and somebody can grab you. It's just,
well, yeah, for
will
sure. But
Pat go out there and grab the players that we're expecting, or is he going to continue to grab the depth that he's grabbing right now and not building the starting lineup and trusting that starting lineup, which is not working right now? It hasn't been working for 8 months, 9
well,
months.
yeah, but I mean, but it's not about just picking players out. Like, you have to pick players with certain characteristics that bring value to your team. Like, the reason the Dynamo have been so successful the last couple of years, because you've had a numerous amount of players with leadership qualities, with Shevchenko, Ache, with Escobar, with you brought in players with winning mentalities who've won multiple titles in their careers, and things of that nature, who bring that pedigree to a club that up until recently we weren't having that, and that's what you're trying to replace here, you know. And
Yeah.
when you're going up in that spot right now, and Barlow and Femi's situations, like, you have to understand what you're trying to replace, and you got to be up for it. You got to be ready to go. That's just my opinion, Stairs
Yeah.
is obviously a different situation. He's a much older guy. Obviously he is a backup more quality right now. But like I said, because he is a veteran, he is a backup player, and because he's been through the fire, and he's won championships and won titles. I expect him to, to obviously do the job when he's called upon, and he does do the job. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Stairs during this time with the Dynamo, man. The guy's been a soldier for us, and he's been really, really, really great, and a good acquisition for us. But like I said, I just can't. I'm hoping that Saturday isn't another repeat of the first two home games where we're just getting lit up left and right, and because it's not gonna be a good sight, and I don't want to have to come up here next Thursday, and just talk negatively about it,
Yeah.
yeah, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I like, I understand that right now, like I said, we're in a transitional period, and we're still picking up players, and we're still looking for our main players. But I mean, shit, can these guys at least keep us afloat for the time being? Because what good is it if we, like, let's say the club surprises us and actually gets a name brand player as a DP, right? What good does it do us if the ship is already sunken by the time he gets here? By the time they sign him and gets here, I mean, there's like, what, 10 games left in the
Yeah,
season.
but it's July. You have Leagues Cup. By the time when he comes in for the summer signing, you have Leagues Cup to prep the guy, get him fit, and then he comes back, and then, like you said, you have 9, 10 games left. Maybe you're not in the best position. You're not in the playoff market, but MLS is parity, and there were teams that sucked ass who were still fighting for that playoff spot.
Yeah,
2 to 3 weeks left in the season, so the opportunity can still be there. Is it what we want and what we want to deal with? Where we're used to wooden spoons, and you don't want to be close to the wooden spoon again. And so, yeah, we would like for us to succeed a little bit more, but I don't. Let's get some points here. Let's draw in Columbus. Let's get this win against RSL like we're supposed to. We have a tough stretch coming up: Seattle, Portland on the road. The
hmm
LAs are coming in, or one is coming in and one is going on the road. It's a tough road to start this season, but if we could salvage anything and just look productive, we'll be okay. Get that DP, whatever the hell he's going to be in. Yeah, you get Holmes will return before that DP10 comes back. You have an Anali that's going to show back up and be the guy that we expect him to be and was looking forward to be. You have a Quinones that is going to return. Ben is going to have a lot of problems soon this summer. That's 5 summer signings basically right there that you got. It's coming in to help this team out. Counting Anali and Quinones as those summer signings per se.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, am I overreacting? Maybe just a tad bit. Like I said,
No, it's fair though. It's fair.
it's the fourth game of the season, but like I said, I just don't want to be here. And then and then it goes from game 4, and then we're at game 9, and then we're at game 15, and we're still talking the same thing, and it's like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? Like I said, look, fortunately, look, RSL isn't doing that much better than we are at the moment, right?
Nope.
Like I said, the fact that we're at home, hopefully, it should be a beautiful Saturday evening. Hopefully, the stadium is packed. I mean, and ready to go. Maybe people took advantage of the free tickets that were given to them during the whole Messi fiasco, and we'll have a lot more people available at the stadium to help support the Dynamo, and that would be great, and we pull out a win. So, like I said, that's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see what happens. I mean, but right now, look, I'm gonna be optimistic. Okay, I'm gonna be optimistic. Maybe it helps out. Maybe it works out, and we pull this win. But I'll go 2-0 Dynamo. Just to be, just to have something to look forward to. I
I
want
like
them
it.
to prove me. I want them to prove me right. I don't want to look like a dummy coming back here next week and talking about they lost, they got beat down by blah, blah, whatever, right? No, please help me out, help OSG out. We still believe. I know the fan base still out there believes, and they understand the circumstances of the team, but we have to be able to, like, even though we're not going to be able to compete against the Miamis and the LAFCs and whatever at this particular moment. But the teams that are around us right now at the moment, like the RSLs, the Sporting Kansas Cities, those type of teams, we should be able to pick points off of them, and get those wins and take
Yep.
advantage of the fact that those teams are going through harsher situations than what we are. So, let's take advantage of that situation, and let's do it this Saturday. Our
I'm optimistic soccer guy. You're optimistic Segovia. And this is
well, I
optimistic
mean,
Dynamo.
I mean, optimism isn't really something I like to go forward with. I mean, I'm more of a realist, but I mean, every once in a while, I'll throw some optimism out there, and I'm gonna throw it out there for this Saturday. So let's hope it. We can go 1-1-0 for with this optimism. I'll bring it back.
Let's
I'll
do it.
bring it back next week. I'll bring it back next week
Yeah.
if it happens. So,
We only
but
tell the truth here, right?
hey, the truth shall set you free. But OSG, that's not the only game coming on before we hit the screens next week, next Thursday. We have another game, a friendly against my El Salvador national team on March 19th, which is next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to look at the calendar. I can't remember right now at this moment. But a nice little friendly against Salvador. Obviously, we have a huge Salvadorian community here in Houston that will probably be out there supporting La Selecta. A new head coach for La Selecta coming in, some familiar faces in Darwin Surin, who was a former Dynamo winner and who helped us lift up the 2018 U.S. Open Cup, should be available for that squad to come into Houston. He might be even captaining the squad, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, I don't expect you to know too much about the Salvadorians team. Neither do I at this moment, because I think they're going with fully domestic league players. So and I think they're going with a lot of youth. So I'm not too familiar with a lot of the guys that they're going to bring in. But what do you think about these little friendlies in mid-season? Do you think it's good? I mean, obviously, I expect it to be more of a mix of Dynamo Dos and like the fringe bench players that haven't had that many minutes to participate in that game. But what are your thoughts on these friendlies coming up for the Dynamo?
Look, I'm okay with the friendly. I'm okay with bringing El Salvador here. It's it could be a pipeline to introduce players from that country to the MLS and to the Houston Dynamo, and maybe it's something you can build a reputation, not a reputation, but a phone line over there to a player who is doing well. You can bring that player in, but it's as far as what this game means, absolutely zero. I don't expect much at all. Dynamo first team bench players will probably get to play. Dose bench players will probably get to play because they still have a game to play as well. And they don't play on Saturdays; they play like on Thursdays or Fridays, so midweek. So, who's going to play against El Salvador? Who knows? It'll just be something fun to go see. Ticket prices are outrageous right now, so you're not going to see shit there. You'll see more fans at a Dash game. I apologize, Dash. I love you. You know I do. Dash Dispatch hashtag. But there's going to be more fans at a Dash game than this game is what I feel like, just because El, El Salvador. They'll bring their players, but like you said, you don't even know them. Who knows them? Who are they? Dynamo, they're not going to play nobody special. It'll be maybe Duane is your biggest name that starts for the Dynamo. Moore will be your keeper to
Let,
play that
let,
game.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because
Yep.
sometimes friendlies can be an opportunity to help build confidence, and with certain
Yeah.
players that obviously are not performing, right.
Looking
Let's
ready
say,
to start.
well, no, yeah, but I'm saying, but like even with your starters, like let's like an Aliu, right? Aliu obviously needs all the confidence in the world. He needs to find a potion
Right.
of confidence, right? Maybe Sebas, Basi, obviously, players who unfortunately right now, even though they're starting, they're not playing with the most confidence in the world, right? Maybe it's obviously Salvador's they're not a world beaters, and they're not top 60 in the world FIFA rankings, if I'm not mistaken. If that, I think they might even be
Still
even
in the
lower.
national team.
So I mean, it might be an opportunity for them to play against a lower tier type of competition, and just to see goals go in the net for those type of players might be a boost for them. For the game after prior against I think it's the Seattle game after that. What do you? I mean, is it a possibility? I mean, especially let's say the guys don't perform well Saturday, or they end up in a tie or whatever, or lose 1-0 against RSL. Is it an opportunity for Ben to go let those guys out there and just let them just go out there and play their style, and let them be them. Let them show their character on the pitch, and just to see a couple goals a couple balls go in the goal.
Nope. That's not Ben Olsen. That's not what he'll do. He will think about the next game against Seattle and have his tactics, have his lineup, have his bench set and ready, and he'll only utilize what he wants to for that El Salvadorian game, and I don't even know if he pays attention to that game. He may be on the sideline, but I don't even know if he pays attention, and if he takes notes from it. I wish he would. It's an opportunity. Please start Arzu. Please start Arzu in that game, so he can show you he can play and do something, and maybe get some minutes in a real MLS game. So what's Ben doing? We don't expect much from Ben. He's stubborn. He sticks to his ways, and so please, Ben. I know you're listening, or somebody on the staff is listening is going to tell you this shit. But please do something different. Throw something out. Throw everything out. Throw your books out. I mean, I don't care. You try something different. You desperately need something. We're not scoring goals, and it's been a long time. It's like when you live out in the desert of Arizona and you don't get rain.
Yeah, it's been dry. It's been
We're
dry.
dying. We're dying, bro. Come on, Ben.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, guys, we hope to see you at the game Saturday
Hey,
against
but
RSL.
remember last week you asked that one important question that we said we should ask every week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's
Thank
a
you, thank you.
fair question, right?
Well, okay. Let me say this real quick, and then
Okay.
I'll go ask that question.
All right.
Guys, obviously we got this Saturday night, 7:30 against RSL at Shell, and guys, also for those who want to join us, who want to, I might make an appearance on Tuesday, depending. We'll see what's happening. We'll see what happens against El Salvador on Tuesday, March 19th, at Shell as well. We're looking forward to seeing you go out there, guys. Obviously supporting the Dynamo. We always for orange. But let's go back to that question that I said I would be asking on a weekly basis. OSG, do you think at this current moment we're one of the worst teams in MLS?
Absolutely friggin' not. It belongs to the LA Galaxy. Hey, no, there's quite a
LA Galaxy's move forward in Championship Cup, right? Championships Cup. So I mean, they're focused on something else right now, and they're going to bring in players.
That's true. We know they're shit in the box right now too, and they're going to improve and they'll make a run for the playoffs, whatever, blah blah blah. But yeah, right now they suck and they're at the bottom. But New England hadn't even scored a goal in 3 games. They hadn't done nothing. Montreal is 0-3. We named them. Toronto did get a tie. Whatever, so they're the same record as us. I mean, what else? There's 6 teams playing a lot worse than us when you want to compare. So right now, are we wooden spoon contenders? You can still say yes right now, unfortunately, because you can't fix that offense. But there's still plenty of teams in our way right now,
Look,
even though it's at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sporting Kansas City, LA, obviously the 2 teams beneath us right now at the moment. Montreal, Toronto, New England, the other clubs on the other side of the Eastern Division that have not, won a game either. But
And
like I
let's not
said,
forget, Austin still sucks too.
yeah. But I mean, that one win is still one win. So,
Against
um,
FKC.
and like I said, guys, I mean, like, look. And I'll ask the question again next week, and hopefully we can get away from that question. The further and further we go into the season, right? But
The fair question has to evolve to a different fair question.
Unfortunately, I gotta say, I mean, we are competing for the wooden spoon at the moment. It is a fact, and unfortunately, like I said, with everything that I've seen with my own eyes, in person and on the screen, I don't like where we're going, and it's really, I mean, like I said, it's the 3rd game, so I'm not trying to be one of those like, hey, like, hey man,
No, it's tough. It's fair.
ring the alarm, this and that, whatever. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. It's the 3rd game. We're going to our 4th game. Let's hope that they've been able to restore a little bit, and let's hope that they show some pride this Saturday, and they, like I said, they get the win, and we're looking and we're going past that, right? But at this moment right now, like you said, you mentioned Galaxy, but I mean, obviously, look what Galaxy's missing. Ricky Puig is gone. is out. Their leading goal scorer from last season is out. Peck is being double, triple teamed, because that's the only scoring offense that they have at the moment available to them. So I mean, and Marco
Hey, it's our
Royce
only time to take a shot at LA Galaxy.
Yeah. I mean, and Marco Royce for being such a great player for Dortmund and in Germany, he's relegated to being a bench player. So, it is what it is. But I mean, yeah, it's a tough situation to be in right now at this moment for the Dynamo. And at this current moment, I have to say that we are one of the worst teams in MLS at this current moment. But with that being said, OSG, again, guys, thank you for joining us again. Another week, episode 130, Noodle Time. OSG, Andres isn't here. Do you want to share where people can get a hold of us?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, as y'all know, y'all probably heard us 100,000 times. Dynamic Foxtrot on X, at Noodle Tempio on X, Instagram at Dynamic Foxtrot. You can find us on Ko-fi.com or Ko-fi/whatever.com. Dynamic Foxtrot. You got Mark. How do you say it? Segovia?
Segovia
on X. Please follow. Hey, please comment. Let us know what you think of the show. Give us some support. Give us your rant if you want to give us a rant. Hey, look for us on the concourse. We're always on the concourse for all Dash and all Dynamo games. So we want to talk to you. Find us. We're typically near the press box or we're near the supporters section. We want to talk to you and find you. But like I said, those are our socials. You're welcome to find us at YouTube, Foxtrot TV. You can watch us. Look at this ugly mug all friggin' day and just hear my stupid ass voice. You got Mark right there looking all sexy and shit. Dynamic Foxtrot comes in. Juan every now and then. There's going to be a new instant ramen coming out here pretty quick with please go listen to that. Juan's got an interview with a Dose goalkeeper coming up. So you know what to do. Hit me up.
Yeah.
Follow me on the concourse.
For sure, guys. Thank you. And shout out to Juan, shout out to Andres, shout out to all the guys with Noodle Time and Dynamo Foxtrot and all that good stuff, guys. And like I said, hey, whether we're up and down, we're always going to be there. We're always going to be forever orange, and we're always going to hold it down. So throw the mages up always. And we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Thanks. Go.